You walk into a liquor store. It's your lucky day. You see both of these beautiful bottles just sitting on the shelf. And when you go to reach for them and pick them up, the owner goes, no. You could only buy one. Well, which one do you choose? I'll let you know today. Also, I'll let you know if either of these or both of these are going to be worth your money and your time to hunt it down. Okay. I'll make you move like your boots are on fire. Oh yeah. Like you touch a live wire. Welcome to Whiskey Inc. My name is David. And Jack Daniel's 10-year-old was first released in 2022 to a bunch of hype and a ton of fanfare, as it was one of the first Jack Daniel's age-stated releases in about a couple of decades. And it didn't disappoint. A lot of people loved it, became hot. I think Fred Minnick called it one of the best whiskeys he ever had. And so it was impossible to get. So obviously the liquor stores and some secondary markets here sold it for as $250 to $300. Now, the batch 3 of the 10-year-old came out earlier this year in 2024, and it's still hot and still sells out really quickly every time. Some of the stats on this: its age, obviously 10 years old. Its proof is 97. Its mash bill is 80% corn, 8% rye, 12% malted barley. Its price, retail is around $80. But secondary, I see it around anywhere between $130 to $150 in my area. Obviously, for your area, it might be a lot different. Old Forester 1924 was released earlier this year with a lot of fanfare and a lot of hype as well, as it just kind of similar to Jack Daniel's. It's one of the rare age-stated bourbons from Old Forester. Now, you have the Old Forester Birthday Bourbon and the President's Toast that has age statements, but those are super unicorns. So unless you get super lucky or spend a lot of money, those are not realistic. This, at least what they said, was going to be a realistic choice for a lot of us to buy an age-stated Old Forester. And people got more excited when Old Forester announced that the 1924 would be a new addition to the Whiskey Row series and would be a regular release going forward. That sounded awesome, but it kind of sounded odd or a little controversial for 3 reasons. First, the age statement. This is the only one that's now in the Whiskey Row series that's going to have an age statement. 1910, 1920, 1897, they all don't have an age statement. Second is the mash bill. Others in the Whiskey Row series, their mash bill is 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. But the 1924 is actually 79% corn, 11% rye, and 10% malted barley. It's actually the same mash bill as the Early Times or King of Kentucky. So it's just different mash bill, even though it's the same Whiskey Row series. So there's a lot of theories because of the same mash bill that this is actually just Early Times barrels that was remaining from their brand sale to Sazerac, and they just aged it 10 years and selling it at $120. Well, there's another theory where they said, hey, it's the King of Kentucky barrels that are rejected. But remember, even if it's a B plus or a B minus barrel, they still reject it because King of Kentucky is A plus A barrels, right? So what are you going to do with all those nice age-stated barrels? Well, you can blend it into, some 1920, 1910, 50, 60, $40 bottles. Or you can create a new brand that has a 10-year age statement and sell it at a premium price of $120 to $130. And so that's where the third controversy comes in, which is the price. It's really, really expensive. If you think about the others in the Whiskey Row series, the 1920 comes in around $55, $60. So this is more than double the price. Ooh. I love my 1910 and the 1920. And so I get both of those for cheaper than this. Now, is it twice as good as those? We'll find out. As always, too much talking, not enough drinking. Let's get opening ceremonies. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna let these open up for a couple of minutes. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So let's get right to it. So I'm gonna try to make these a little bit quicker since I have to do 2 beautiful whiskeys. All right, first the Jack Daniel's 10 and the nose. Oh man, you get that trademark banana, but it's almost like a dark, well-baked banana nut bread, but that's more darker, like a chocolate banana bread with caramel, vanilla, and brown sugar on top with some cherry and a little bit of spice. Just a hint of spice, almost like a dash of cinnamon. Ooh, that is a perfect banana nut bread. Onto the palate. Cheers, guys. Wow, You get a lot of the dark, rich oak right away. Very dark. You get a little bit of sweetness. You get the maple syrup, the brown sugar, slight vanilla. You get fruits. You don't get that much banana, which is kind of weird because I got so much of that in the nose. It's more of a cherry. And then the spice, you get the cinnamon, a little bit of peppery spice coming all the way down. Yeah, the finish is about the same. You get the dark oak, a little bit of spice, a little bit of sweet coming all the way down. Very good, but the nose was a lot better than the palate. All right, on to the 1924. First, the nose. Ooh, very interesting. It's a lot more fruity. You get crisp green apple slices right away. A hint of orange, maybe a little bit of cherry, and then the sweetness is more honey, the smooth sweetness than it is the sharp caramel sweetness. And I'll say, for spice, you almost get like oak spice instead of any of this cinnamon or the peppery spice. Very smooth, very fruity, very tropical. If you're enjoying this content, please push that like button. It really does help me out. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. Also, I want to thank one of my newest members, or the YouTube members, Stymie. Just mentioning that, I did start a YouTube membership. It does have some fun perks, so if you're interested in joining, please do so. You're probably wondering, what are these 3 bottles? It has nothing to do with video. You are correct. It's actually a surprise giveaway to my YouTube members. So I actually bought these 2 bottles to give away to my YouTube members on a random basis. But I have 3 members. So I was like, you know what? I'll just throw in a 3rd bottle. So all 3 of my members will get a bottle. I know these are not the greatest bottles in the world, but hopefully it still shows my appreciation and my thankfulness of my YouTube members. Again, this is not a part of the description, not part of the perks, because I don't know how regularly I'll do this, but I do want to do random giveaways to my YouTube members once in a while. It might be samples, it might be bottles, it might just be something else, but it'll be a lot of fun. All right, on to the palate. Find a hole, guys. So you get fruits right away. You get more of a dark fruits this time, like cherry, plum, instead of the brighter fruits that the nose brought. The sweetness, a lot more chocolate. It's a lot more, let's say, like a light maple syrup. So that's very pleasing. It's not overwhelming. The spice, slight spice, almost like a sweet baked cinnamon instead of the cinnamon kick that you get from the spice. It's really balanced, and the mouthfeel is very nice. And the finish, slight oak, slight spice coming all the way down. At the end, you do still get the sweet fruits, little bit of chocolate. So again, very nice. It's a little bit longer than you expect from 100 proof, so that's a pretty good surprise as well. So after experiencing both of these, if I was in that scenario where I walked into a liquor store, these both were available, but I could only choose one, I'll choose Old Forester 1924. The reason? Unique. The fresh fruits, the honey, the chocolate sweetness, it's a lot more unique than the Jack Daniel's 10. The Jack Daniel's 10 is good. There's a lot of alternatives that you can get. Obviously, some of the Jack Daniels even, bonded or the single barrel proofs, those can give you similar experiences. Maybe not the same, but similar experiences that the Jack 10. But with this, the only one that comes close is the Wild Turkey 101 12 years old. So it's a lot more unique. It's a lot more fun. So again, choose one, this will be the one. Are these individually worth their money and worth their time to hunt them down? No. For me, both of these are borderline hold to even sell ratings to a certain extent. Obviously, if you try them, you'll love them, you should buy them. But even at MSRP of $80 and $130, and we're not even counting the secondary price. If I saw another one of this and another one of this, would I buy a backup? No. After tasting them, I would not. I think they're just too low proof. I think the flavor profile is a little too thin. For the Jack Daniel's 10, good bottle, but I would buy the Jack Daniel's single barrel proofs at $65 any day of the week. And for the 1924, at 130, there's just too many good bottles in that price or below that price. Obviously, Elijah Craig barrel proofs, Larceny barrel proofs. I mean, shoot, even all the private selects, Bustler's Reserve, Old Forester, you name it, Four Roses. And those are much easier relatively to find than right now the Old Forester 1924. So it's unfortunate. I think these are good bottles, but I think they're a little bit overpriced. A lot of overhype, but I'm glad I tried him. I'm glad I got him. I'm glad I found out, but no more. So comment below. Have you guys had these? Did you guys come to the same conclusion I did, or was it the best thing you ever tasted? Also, if you never had these, do you still want these? Because I'll be honest with you, I heard the reviews and I still wanted it because I wanted to taste it for myself. So I know how that feels. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time.